Let's be real for a second. Somewhere in your camera roll, there's a screenshot of a workout that you never did. In your closet, there's a pair of shoes that you bought when you were serious this time. Most people think getting in shape is some kind of test of character. They think that if they just wanted it more, they'd have a six-pack already. They think that the reason that they're sitting on the couch instead of hitting the gym is a moral failing. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. If getting in shape was actually about motivation, you would have succeeded 3 years ago. Think back. There was a Sunday night where you were on fire. You were excited, you were ready, you told yourself, this is it. New year, new me, no more excuses. You had the motivation, you had the why. And yet, here you are, again, starting over, again, which is exactly why you start believing something is fundamentally broken in your DNA. You tell yourself, I just don't have the discipline. I'm just not a gym person. I always fall off. What if none of that were true? What if your failure has zero to do with your willpower and everything to do with the fact that you're trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand? Most people aren't failing because they're weak. They're failing because they were never given a working blueprint. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why the motivation narrative is actually a trap keeping you stuck, and 3 pillars of structure that separates the people who stay fit for life from the people who stay stuck in the day one loop. First of all, we got to look at the cycle. You start motivated, you buy a gallon jug, you download the app, for 2 weeks, you're a warrior. Then life happens. A late night at work, a kid gets sick, you're tired, the feeling of wanting disappears, and because that feeling is gone, the action stops. And when the action stops, you start blaming your discipline. You think, I just need to try harder next time. You're trying to fix a leaking pipe by turning the water pressure up. If the pipe is broken, more pressure just makes it all a bigger mess. You don't need more pressure, willpower. You need a better pipe, structure. The people you see who are in incredible shape all year round, they aren't gritting their teeth more than you. They aren't waking up at 4 a.m. screaming, let's go, at their bathroom mirror. They've just stopped relying on emotion to dictate their actions. Because motivation is a spike. Getting in shape is repetition. And repetition cannot survive on emotion. If your entire fitness plan depends on how you feel when your alarm goes off, you don't have a plan, you have hope. And in business, in fitness, and in life, hope is not a strategy. So here's the first pillar of the blueprint. Systems. If your fitness plan exists only in your head, it's not a plan, it's an intention. Most people wake up and start negotiating with themselves. Should I train today? What should I eat for lunch? Maybe I'll go after work if I'm not tired. And every time you ask yourself these questions, you're burning down decision capital. There's a studied phenomenon called decision fatigue. It's the reason why after a long day making choices at work, you find yourself staring at a DoorDash menu for 40 minutes. Your brain is spent. If fitness is a decision you have to make at 6 p.m. after a stressful day, you will lose 9 out of 10 times. The lazy version of you is way better at negotiating than the motivated version you were yesterday. People who succeed remove the decision. They don't ask, do I train today? They already know when they train, what they're trained, what they eat. The day is structured so that the default option is success. A system turns effort into a routine. Routine turns into consistency, and consistency is the only thing that pays out in results. So if you're asking your motivation to do the job of a system, you're asking a temporary intern to do the job of a CEO. It's just not gonna work. The second reason you're stuck is what I call the complexity trap. When we get motivated, we want to do everything. New 6-day workout split, keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, 5 different supplements, cold plunges at 5 a.m. It looks great on Instagram. Yeah, it feels hardcore, right? But complexity is the enemy of execution. The more moving parts your plan has, the more ways it can break. If your plan requires 10 things to go right for you to succeed, and one thing goes wrong, like a traffic jam and a bad night's sleep, the whole tower collapses. So listen to this. Complexity kills consistency. The people who stay in shape for decades, they do less, but they do it better. They focus on the 80-20 principle. 20% of actions are gonna give you 80% of results. Simple, repeatable meals, a basic training structure they can do even when they're not tired, tracking 2 or 3 metrics, not 50. Social media is trying to sell you the secret optimization. They want you to worry about optimal nutrition timing and peripheral heart action training. But you don't need optimization, you need adherence. A simple plan you can actually follow for a year will beat a perfect plan that you quit after 3 weeks every single time. A simple plan survives a bad day, a complex plan requires a perfect life, and nobody has a perfect life. The final pillar that everyone hates: support. In our culture, we have this lone wolf obsession. We think asking for help is a sign of weakness. We think we should be able to do this ourselves. But look at the most successful people on earth. Every pro athlete has a coach. Every CEO has a board of directors, and every great student has a teacher. So why is it that in every other area of life we recognize guidance equals speed, but in fitness we think guidance equals failure? Trying to change your body in total isolation just doesn't make sense. And support isn't just someone yelling at you to do more push-ups. It's about an environment, an identity. When you have a coach, a program, a community, your actions have a witness. Someone is checking in on you. Your actions matter way more. Skipping feels like a breach of contract, not just a little break. Your progress is objectively tracked, so you can't lie to yourself. Humans are social creatures. We don't change well in a vacuum. If you build an environment where quitting is harder than continuing, you win by default. So let's bring it all together. Next time you find yourself saying, "I just need more motivation," I want you to stop. I want you to translate that sentence into what it actually means. What you're really trying to say is, "I don't have a system. I'm making too many decisions. My plan is way too complex. It breaks when your life gets harder. And I'm doing this alone. I have no external anchor." Stop looking for a spark of energy. Start looking for a blueprint. Motivation isn't the engine that drives the car. It's the exhaust. It's what happens after the engine is already running. Fix the structure, build a system, keep it simple, and get support. When you do that, you'll realize you were never lazy. You were just trying to drive a car with no wheels. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start following a structure that actually sticks, follow this channel.